Hey guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back. It's Rebecca Pebble here, all things creative, weird, and wonderful here for you, your one-stop shop, I guess you could say. So I did a Q&A and I actually just filmed the first part. I hit stop and I'm re-recording. This is part 2 and it's just one question because this one question I feel like is going to, so southern, is going to take a little more depth and time to really get into it. So for my Q&A, I had Robert ask me what is my favorite Duran Duran song. And like I said in my previous video, I went on a little adventure thinking, oh, what are some of my favorite Duran Duran songs? But before I do that, I kind of want to back up. I should be wearing my Duran Duran shirt. What am I doing? Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. That's better, right? I'm actually thinking about what I'll do probably with this one. I'm thinking about cutting it so it's more 80s, right? I don't know why I'm looking over there. I need to look over here. And make it an off-the-shoulder tee. Haven't committed to that yet though because it just feels so weird to cut into my Duran Duran shirt. So yes. So Duran Duran is interesting. As you can tell by looking at me, you can probably tell I'm not a Gen Xer, which would be the generation that grew up with Duran Duran and the 80s music that I just love so much. I'm in the wrong generation. So you're probably wondering, how did this girl get into Duran Duran? Why does she love them so much? And all of these ponderings, which I wouldn't blame you. I would be thinking the same thing, like, how did she get into them? She's not of that generation. So I just remember always, even as a kid, loving 80s music and watching behind the music, VH1's Behind the Music, watching MTV, Fuse, The Box, all those music channels. I just sat in front of them and watched them for hours as a kid. And I'm sure Duran Duran was on there a lot. And I loved their music, but I didn't think too much. I didn't really cling on to the band and really start researching and listening to them on their own. Gosh, I'm trying to think of when. I got the Greatest album first, which is weird to start with a Greatest Hits album, but that's where I started. And now I'm trying to think if that was high school. I'm gonna guess high school. I don't know. And surprise, guys, I know I look young. I'm actually 35. So high school for me was a long time ago. So I've been loving them for quite a while now. For a few decades. Almost. Not quite that old yet. To say a few decades, but almost 2 decades. And I just remember really loving New Moon on Monday. I mean, I loved all of the songs, but I just remember that one in particular I would listen to over and over and over again. And there's just something about the soaring chorus and it just got me and I was hooked. And then it's really strange. I just remember really loving them, but not thinking too much of it. And then in more recent years, not even that long ago, I just remember thinking to myself, I love the 80s so much and the music so much. Why don't I become sort of an 80s music expert or guru, or I'm going to take that genre and that time period in music and I'm going to do a really extensive deep dive because like I mentioned in the part 1 Q&A video, which by the way, real quick, RebeccaPebble.com. I forgot to promote my website. Please go to www.RebeccaPebble.com. I have some really cool stuff over there that's separate from my YouTube channel that you might find interesting, things to watch, things to read, all that good stuff. So check it out. But as I was saying, gosh, I got myself off track. No. Yes, as I said in my first Q&A video, I tend to focus on just sort of knowing a little bit about everything. But I finally realized, I was like, I want to specialize in something. I want something where people come to me and say, oh, she knows this particular area. And I don't know why. I just decided, I said, you know what, I'm going to focus on 80s synth pop, new wave music. And I'm going to know the artists, and I'm going to know the albums, and I'm going to just really dig into that. And so I did. And I just really realized, like, I really love these bands, like in particular, of course, Duran Duran and Depeche Mode. Those were the two that I was just like, these are my favorites. I love them so much. But they're so different in ways too. So I like that I had a little variety. And so with Duran Duran, I decided I'm going to just start listening to all of their albums top to bottom and just go through and explore their catalog of music, because I think they sort of got painted as this like pretty boy band, image focused pop group, which to me sounds very superficial. And of course that was a component of it, because it came up during the MTV golden era with the videos. I mean, my gosh, you can't escape that. You had to look glamorous, right? I mean, it's smart on their part. But if you watch these guys, so I watched interviews and I thought, what compelling gentlemen, these interesting, cultured, intelligent men making this beautiful music together. And I just really started to have a deep respect for them, lyrically, musically, individually, collectively, as a group, just all of it. I thought, wow, this is fine artistry, almost disguised as just fluffy pop music. It's not. Like, if you dig deeper, there's so much more to it, and those Duranis know what I'm talking about. So yeah, deep dive led me to having favorite albums, favorite songs, and of course my favorite band member, which I'd be interested to see who you guys think it is. But I think I'll just go ahead and tell you. I adore Nick Rhodes, but everyone knows I'm a synthesizer nut. Like, it's my favorite instrument. I know I have guitars around me, but that's what I play. But I love the sound of a synth. And so I think he's just so brilliant at what he does. And it's just so inventive, some of the way that Nick uses the sounds and the synth. And it's been timeless. I mean, the sound still sounds fresh today. And they're still making new music, and it sounds great. I am in awe. So I think I'll start, well, I don't know. I was going to say if I should start with the albums and then go to the songs, but he asked about the songs. So, but I'm going to start with the albums. So my top 3 Duran Duran albums, which I recommend if you're someone that just knows Hungry Like the Wolf or Rio, and you're thinking, what else is there to this band? These are the 3 I recommend checking out. Other Duranis, please give your suggestions if there's one that maybe is better suited. This is 80s Duran Duran. Now there's 90s Duran Duran, and for me, I think because it's a little more guitar focused on the whole, not always, and not as synthy. And that's funny. What? She's a hypocrite. She doesn't like guitar music. No, I love guitar music. But now we're talking about synths. I don't know. The 90s Duran Duran sound doesn't hit me. It doesn't resonate as much as the 80s sound. But that's actually universally true, I would say, for me on the whole, is that if you gave me a bucket of 90s tunes and a bucket of 80s tunes and said you can only have one bucket, of course I'm going to pick the 80s. I don't know. I love the 90s, and it does have a feel-good energy about it, but it just doesn't, it's not the same. To me, the 80s is just like perfect. I don't know. Just it is. So, so these are 80s albums. So the first one is their very first album, which is the self-titled Duran Duran album. And I should have the track listings up near me, so because this is not going to help you. But I want to say, gosh, I need to, want to say Canada's on that one, right? I think so. So that is one of my favorite songs, actually, is Canada, and I'm pretty sure it's on that self-titled album. That one just is a good solid Duran Duran album. I would start with that one, or I'd start with my next one, which is Rio. I don't know, if you want to go in order, you could start with self-titled and then go to Rio, but you might want to start with Rio because that probably has the most familiar Duran sound to it if you just want to sort of get introduced, ease into the waters. And now that one with, let's see, Last Chance on the Stairway. I wrote down, let's see, Lonely in Your Nightmare. Those are on my favorite songs list. Gosh, that one's just solid. That one's a really solid album, and it's got a few other hits, so that if you're one that likes to hear the hits again, it won't let you down. And the third one, this one might be a little unexpected for people because it is a little cheesy, I admit. Like, the cover and everything is even a little cheesy, but I love the cover. Is Seven and the Ragged Tiger. There's just something about, it's a very joyful, for the most part, like a very exuberant album, and some of the lyrics are just so fun. There's a line, I think it's in I'm Looking for Cracks in the Pavement, which made my favorite songs list, where he says, hold tight to daddy's bracelets. And every time I hear that, I don't know, I just envision like some older gentleman, maybe Italian or something, with this gold bracelet, and his little daughters the whole time. It's probably a metaphor or a saying, but to me, I love it. I don't know. I love it. I love the lyrics. So those are my three. But again, Seven and the Ragged Tiger, I think that's probably more of a Duran-y favorite. I don't know. I'd be interested if someone who wasn't into Duran Duran listened to it and if they liked it too. Maybe they would. So let me give you my 13 songs, and I don't know if I'll be able to narrow this down. My goal originally, Robert, to be honest with you, was to go through and listen to all of these and then rank them and then narrow it down and then pick the favorite. But I am just in such a flow making these videos that after I made my first one, I was like, I'm just going to jump into this because I'm so excited about it. So I don't know if I can give you one favorite song. I'm going to list you my 13 favorites, and then we'll see where I go from there. So I told you about Canada, and that's just a beautiful soaring song. And I'm not going to go into too much depth into these for those of you that aren't familiar with the Duran Duran songs. But next I have The Chauffeur. That one's like spooky and haunted in a way, I guess you could say. Beautiful. I want to say there's a line, what does he sing about the silver in her dress? Like, I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but it's just beautiful. And the beginning of the dun 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 dun, it's just, ooh, I don't know, haunting, beautiful, love it. And I think that's on the self-titled Duran Duran album, so there's another one for that one. Oh, this next one, so unexpectedly beautiful. Okay, this is probably makes my top 5. So maybe I should do like a top 5. So I have my notebook here. I'm gonna put this in my top 5. The Universe Alone. Now this is on the Paper Gods album, which I'll admit, out of all of them, isn't my favorite as a whole. But this song right here, they could just put that on the album, seriously. Like, the lyrics, and just, it's almost like two lovers that are destined to be together eventually, just not now, not in this lifetime. And it's just so heartbreaking. Simon's soaring vocals. There's some distortion at the end that's really cool. I like how the lyrics are sort of dark and sad, but the music it's a dance track, so it's that juxtaposition, there's the word, of the beauty of the music and the fun, the exuberance of the music paired with the sadness of the lyrics, the truth of the lyrics. Oh my gosh. So that the universe alone, I love that one. Next is American Science, and this is from the Notorious album, which I enjoy. That's a good one too. And actually, American Science, I don't know, I really like this one. I'm tempted to put it on my top 5 because I don't know. It's one of those you wouldn't expect it to be a favorite Duran Duran song because it's pretty simple and straightforward. But I listen to it all the time. I don't know. Maybe they put crack in their music. It's ear crack. So that one, we'll see. I might put that on my list. Next, I have Last Chance on the Stairway. This is from, and if I get any of these wrong, please feel free to correct me because, again, I don't have the track listing in front of me. So this is all coming out of my noggin. This is, I want to say Last Chance on the Stairway is Rio? Sometimes I get the Rio tracks and the self-titled tracks confused. I don't know why. But gosh, that's beautiful. And the sentiment behind it, oh. Next, I have New Moon on Monday. That maybe should make the top 5 just because it's the one that really got me into them. You know what I mean? Kind of like the track. So, yeah. New Moon on Monday. We'll put that on there. Oh, this one. Okay, this one's going on the list, so I have 3 now. And then maybe from there I can narrow it down. The Man Who Stole a Leopard. I love this song. This is on Red Carpet Massacre? No. Paper Gods. Dang it. The Man Who Stole a Leopard. Nope. All You Need Is Now. That's a great, you know what? That's a great one. And Astronaut. Astronaut's not on Google Play, but I had that CD and I listened to it all the time. So actually, there's probably a lot of songs that I love that I could have on this list on that Astronaut album, but I don't have access to it right now, so I don't remember. But yes. The Man Who Stole a Leopard, I'm pretty sure is on All You Need Is Now, which I recommend listening to that as well. That one's cool for the sounds and the story. It's based on a true story, a man who actually stole a leopard, and I love the metaphor, the idea of a man trying to tame a woman who's untamable. I don't know, just I love it. And then at the end they have the news reporter speaking, and so British. I love it. So that definitely makes my list. Then I have The Seventh Stranger, which is at the very end of the Seven and the Ragged Tiger album, which I would say, if you don't listen to that whole album, maybe just listen to that song, The Seventh Stranger. It's beautiful and it's haunting, and he has a line that's, "Was I chasing after rainbows? You never answered when I called." And that one gets me every time. Very, very beautiful, like unrequited love, things like that. Next I have I'm Looking for Cracks in the Pavement, another one from Seven and the Ragged Tiger. That's so much fun, the Daddy's Bracelets line. It's just, that was just a fun like dance track. And of Crime and Passion, maybe that's where the line comes from. And I Take the Dice. You know what, those are, that's funny. They're the next ones I was going to talk about. I Take the Dice, of Crime and Passion. So basically, when I listen to Seven the Rag and Tiger, it's like boom, 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 like favorite song, after another. And so I love it. So much fun. Those are all fun tracks you can dance to. And I did hear it said that when the world is burning down, Duran Duran's the kind of music you want to listen to. And I think someone in Duran Duran might have said that. I think they said they want to make music that you'd listen to while the world is burning. So this is apropos. As everything that's going on in the world. Next I have Lonely in Your Nightmare. This is from the Rio album, I believe. That one is just gorgeous. I love the line where he says, "Because there's heat beneath your winter, let me in." Oh, so beautiful. These lyrics are so beautiful. Gosh, so that one, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna put that one in my list. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have four 4 favorites right now. And then the last one is Faster Than Light, and that one's from the self-titled album, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to put that on my list because that has Simon singing falsetto notes, which is fun because you don't hear that too often in recent-ish pop music, more so like Frankie Valli, Bee Gees. So I appreciated that. So, my top 5. I have The Universe Alone, New Moon on Monday, The Man Who Stole a Leopard, Lonely in Your Nightmare, and Faster Than Light. I don't know if I could pick one. For now, I'm going to say The Man Who Stole a Leopard, but that's just for right now. I don't know. I love that song so much, but I love all these other ones. It just depends on my mood, and so there you have it. So those are my top 5, or my favorite Duran Duran songs, favorite Duran Duran albums, favorite Duran Duran band member. Duran Duran is fun to say. Yes. I would love to see them live. I've never seen them live. But I love their music so much. It's fun, but it's also deep and thought-provoking, and it's interesting. And the guys themselves seem really cool, and I've seen them tour, like go through art museums and talk about the art. I'm like, oh, just, you know, that coming from a place of intellect and artistry, that they're going to produce really, really interesting music. So, all right, thanks for watching, everyone. If I get more questions, I'll make another Q&A. This, of course, was part 2, Duran Duran getting some love. And yeah, find what music speaks to you and just listen to it and love it and enjoy it and just dance the night away. All right, guys, well, hopefully this sent you on a fun musical rabbit hole, and I'll see you soon.